Have you ever wondered why some men lose a woman's respect even when they do everything right? Why a man who gives, listens, and stays loyal often ends up being ignored, manipulated, or left behind, while another man, calm and detached, holds her fascination without effort? This is not about playing games. This is about understanding the psychology of control, attraction, and respect through the lens of Stoicism, the ancient art of self-mastery. Because once you know what to never do with a woman, you stop sabotaging yourself emotionally and start radiating the kind of silent confidence that only the rarest men possess. And remember, the last point will reveal the most destructive behavior that instantly erodes a woman's love. But the first? That's the one that almost every man unknowingly commits. Let's begin. 1. Never explain yourself too much. When a man explains too much, he trades power for validation. He wants to be understood, accepted, forgiven. But the Stoic man understands something deeper. Truth needs no defense. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." Women are emotional readers. They don't judge your words. They judge your energy. The more you explain, the more she feels your uncertainty. The more you justify, the more she senses you fear her disapproval. You lose respect, not because your reasoning is weak, but because your emotional frame collapses. Never defend your boundaries. Enforce them calmly. Let your silence communicate what your over-explaining never could, that your peace is not negotiable. 2. Never compete for her attention. Modern culture teaches men to chase validation like oxygen. Text faster, compliment more, prove you care. But when you compete for her attention, you unconsciously tell her she is the prize and that you are trying to earn her notice. The Stoic truth is the opposite. Attention follows self-respect. Seneca once said, "He who is everywhere is nowhere." If your mind is always on her, her messages, her moods, her reactions, you lose the stillness that gives your presence gravity. A man anchored in his mission never begs for attention. He gives it selectively, calmly, like sunlight breaking through clouds. That's what draws her in, not your effort, but your effortless control of focus. To chase her is to tell her she's above you. To stay centered is to remind her she's lucky to orbit your world. 3. Never overshare your emotions. There's a dangerous misunderstanding today that emotional honesty means emotional exposure, but the Stoics taught restraint, not repression. Epictetus said, "Don't explain your philosophy, embody it." When you unload your fears, insecurities, and confusion on a woman, she might sympathize, but deep down, she begins to feel unsafe. Not because you're weak, but because you've shifted the polarity. Women want to feel you can hold their storms, not drown in yours. Share emotions in doses that reflect strength, not chaos. Vulnerability is powerful only when grounded in control. Remember, emotional discipline isn't coldness, it's composure. You are the mountain, not the weather around it. 4. Never idolize or put her above you. This is where most men fall. The moment you pedestalize her, treating her beauty, attention, or approval as your oxygen, you give away the one thing she subconsciously craves from you: dominant serenity. A woman doesn't want to be worshipped, she wants to be led by a man who doesn't need her validation to breathe. In ancient Stoic terms, this is apatheia, freedom from emotional dependence on external things. When you idolize her, you stop being mysterious and become predictable. And predictability kills attraction. Don't put her above you, not in tone, not in energy, not in decision-making. Respect her, yes, but reserve reverence for your purpose, not your partner. Love her as an equal soul, not as your son, because once you orbit her, you cease being a man of gravity. 5. Never try to fix her emotions. Here's a paradox. When a woman is upset, most men rush to fix her pain. But the Stoic man doesn't repair storms, he withstands them. You are not her therapist, you are her grounding presence. When she spirals emotionally, your job is not to lecture, correct, or rescue, it's to remain unmoved. The calm in you calms her. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." By trying to fix her, you imply her emotions disturb your peace. That pressure only amplifies her chaos. But when you remain composed, silent, attentive, self-assured, she starts to regulate herself naturally. Your stillness becomes her mirror. And that's when she sees your true strength, the power to feel deeply, yet remain unmoved. 6. Never make her the center of your world. This is the quiet killer of attraction, the final weakness that destroys most men. A man who makes a woman his purpose loses both. She might love your devotion at first, but eventually she'll test it. She'll withdraw, become distant, unpredictable. Not to hurt you, but to see if you can stand alone. Because love built on obsession is fragile. A Stoic man's love is different. It's rooted in independence. He loves fully, but never loses himself. He gives deeply, but his identity stays anchored in his discipline, his mission, and his inner peace. That balanced love without dependence is what keeps her fascinated. Because, in truth, what every woman craves isn't constant attention, but a man whose soul can't be owned. The Stoic conclusion: the man who masters himself never has to control anyone. He doesn't demand respect, he embodies it. When you stop over-explaining, stop chasing, stop oversharing, stop idolizing, stop fixing, and stop centering your world around her, you regain something rarer than love itself: inner power. That's when she feels your energy shift. That's when she leans in, curious, drawn, and unsettled by your calm. That's when attraction becomes reverence. Remember, a woman cannot love a man she does not respect, and she cannot respect a man who doesn't respect himself first. At Stoic Power Codes, we don't teach you to manipulate women, we teach you to master yourself. Because the man who conquers his emotions commands the world.